8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's going on, people? What's going on? Welcome back. It's Thursday, so you know what time it is. It's Prem Panel time. A couple of the boys are away doing a few bits and pieces, but we've got George in the building as always. What's going on, bro?
I'm all good, man. All good. Happy day still continuing, so happy to be here.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I don't know if you lot have noticed that it's happier messages in the group. He looks happier. It's just
Skin's glowing.
Man, it's like he's all at a face mask. That man's looking hella bright right now.
That's what you call the top 4 glow right there.
Isn't it? Glowing, bro.
And welcome back, Mr. Daps. What's going on, bro?
Welcome to the semi-final, boys. We'll see you there. Sorry, we'll see you at the final, hopefully. But welcome to the semi.
Yeah,
we will definitely get into that. So, guys, on the agenda, we will be chopping up Champions League. Of course, we're going to get into that. And then we'll obviously get into some previews for the weekend, finishing up with the Fantasy League. But I'm going to start with the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, guys. George is the one who I've probably got the bigger question for on this one. But before we do all of that, Mr. Brendan Rodgers, he's been labelled a bottle job a lot. Nobody ever gives him any excuse. No one ever gives him a blind. No one ever says anything about the injuries and the problems or the fact that he's a team that's punching above their weight. So if they don't do so well, are they not just basically doing what they're meant to be doing and not giving the credit for elevating them? All the things that go around. And whether you agree or disagree, we can chop it up now. That's what we're here for. But they have reached the Europa Conference semi-final, the biggest achievement in the club's history, European-wise. And I'm not going to lie, me personally, I rate it. I don't know if anybody saw the game. They were 1-0 down the way to PSV, who aren't the greatest team in the world at the moment, but it's still PSV. It's still Dutch royalty. Do you know what I mean? And away from home, they came back in the second half and turned it around, and they ended up winning 2-1. I thought it was a great performance. Maddison stepping up as always. Perez coming on and changing the game. Daka proving that we should have definitely not bought him. It was all mad.
I didn't even see the game, so I don't even know what Daka was. What was Daka saying?
What was you see the miss? It's ridiculous. But anyway, we'll get onto that. Well. So I want to start with George because you were in this competition, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean, in hindsight, you'd have won this tournament if you were still in it. Facts. But what I want to come to you on it, before I get your opinion on Brendan, is now you're in such a good, strong position for top 4. Are you glad you're out of it so you can just concentrate on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think because our squad isn't as amazing as our first team has been doing the last few weeks. Our squad is nowhere near it, and I mean we've seen from Conte's teams in the past as well. The midweek games followed by like the Saturday games. His teams normally can't handle it, and that's normally when he has a great squad as well. So I don't think we would have needed that distraction, especially since, like you said, it's a competition we probably could have won, right? So we definitely would be trying to win that trophy, especially since we just need one in general. So yeah, I'm sort of glad we're not in it, so we've been able to concentrate on it. But of course, I mean, like it would have been nice to win a trophy this year. But hey, oh man, we're flying at the moment, so I can't really complain.
So to that, would top 4? I know in the long run and financially it's better, but would that have felt better than winning a trophy to you? Like if I said to you right now, you'd have finished 5th, and that means obviously you're not in the Champions League, but you would have had the euphoria of an actual trip to a European final and lift that trophy. Which one do you think you would have took, bro?
Oh, that's tough, man, because the problem is the Europa Conference League is so new, and it's just I can't get out of my head that the fact that it's a 3rd-tier European trophy. And I know we can't be picky, of course, about what trophy we win. But at the end of the day, like if we get Champions League, we're going to be playing the big boys next year. Doesn't mean we're going to win the competition, but we get to have some amazing fixtures, play some amazing teams. And while, yes, obviously I would celebrate winning the trophy, it just means that we would end up getting Europa League max next year, regardless, because that's what you get for winning it. And like you said, we would have come 5th anyway. So to be honest with you, I think I would have preferred top four. If I'm being honest with you, if it was difference between winning the Europa League or getting Champions League, I think I would take winning the Europa League. Forget the fact that Europa League gets you Champions League, just the fact that it's a trophy in itself. I think I'll take the Europa League, but Europa Conference League, I think it's just a bit too, a bit too low for me, to be honest with you.
All right, fair enough. Because obviously, I know you guys want to win some silverware, so I just wanted to see where your head was at in terms of like actually lifting a trophy in that regard. So Daps, I'll come to you on this one, bro. I don't know how you feel about Brendan, so let me know now. But in terms of like the disrespect he gets, do you think it's warranted or not? And how you feeling about Leicester managing to get to a semi-final?
You know what? I think Leicester have had a really bad season, if we're being honest. I do think the injuries to Fofana and Johnny Evans at the very start. Fofana was like a week before the season started, and I think that just knocked them so badly because, like, generally they've been quite good defensively, and it was like them two just seemed to put them off on the wrong foot. With Brendan, it's, you know what, the thing is, like, if they end up finishing, I don't even know where they are in the league at the moment.
Is it 9th? I think they are
9th, 10th. If they finish 9th, 10th, but win this, this probably goes down as a good season, to be fair, because if you could have that, or you could have, I don't know, let's say Arsenal finish 6th and win nothing, I'm pretty certain every Leicester fan would take 10th and a European competition. I mean, I heard West Ham fans earlier on, one West Ham fan on TalkSport earlier saying he would get relegated and win a trophy over anything. Well, over.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That sounds mental to me, but that's how much they just want trophies. And to get another trophies, I think Brendan is hard, man, because he did well at Liverpool. He just didn't quite take you there, right? Leicester have had a lot of injuries. They have. I know some people maybe talk about the signings he's made, and I don't know. It's a hard one.
Matt, I'll come to you because you've got a little bit of emotion when it comes to Brendan, like I do.
That's the thing. I think you lot have that. You lot have that thing with him. Whereas with me, it's just he's Brendan Rodgers that didn't quite make it at Liverpool, went away, rebuilt himself, come back. So it's not really much to me. I haven't really thought about it. So
no, that's fair enough. So Matt, I'll come to you. 2 parts to this. Obviously, how do you feel about Brendan, his achievement? And the second one will be your boy, Fofana. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He's come back and he looks like he's getting back to his best. And during the game, he was brilliant. Like, I mean, we all know he's a great defender in his own right at such a young age. But like, he was brilliant, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, him and Johnny Evans, all of a sudden, Leicester are a totally different team. They're just a totally different team with them in there. So talk to me about your boy quickly, and then your feelings on Brendan and for them.
Still there?
Well,
yeah.
Still there,
Oh, was I the only one that just? What the hell was that, Oliver?
Yeah.
What was the last thing you heard me say, bro?
Last thing I heard
you drifted.
Last thing I heard was about obviously you spoke about how I feel about Brendan's achievements, and you also mentioned about Fofana, how well he's been playing with Johnny Evans, innit? And you know, my thoughts on him and what he's been doing. So all right, I'll start off with Brendan Rodgers. So with Brendan, he has to find a way to get rid of that bottle job tag in it. And I think the only way he can do that is by winning a trophy. Now, he done that by winning an FA Cup. What was it, 2 seasons ago now? They won the FA Cup, Leicester?
No, it was last season.
Last year.
Sorry. Last season. And to be fair, that was good, innit? But the thing is, like how we always say sometimes, is that it's consistency in the league. Like, how good are you in the league? Because sometimes you can get a little bit lucky in a cup. Although I do feel like it should be credited to them. They won the FA Cup fair and square, right? But with Brendan Rodgers and his achievement on what he's doing so far, if he does win another European trophy, you have to look at it and go, he's doing really well. Because you look at Leicester's squad and they do have some good players, but a lot of the times they are injured. And I know people will sit there and say injuries are a part of football, which they are. However, though, they don't have the big squad like an Us or a City or even a Man United. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of have to give him credit for what he's doing. Don't get me wrong, he's made mistakes. He has made mistakes. And I think he even made the mistake with Maddison, because I think they might have had a little fallout even over a year ago when there's talk about him and Maddison having a little bust up. And now he's been, you know what I mean, rejuvenated under Brendan Rodgers. And going on to now Fofana, bro. Listen, Fofana's my guy. If there's ever a centre-back I want us to get, like, and I know people will come at me for this year, but let's just say for argument's sake, Joe Gomez did leave. Let's just say for argument's sake, Joe Gomez...
No, I'll give you a better one, bro. What we talked about yesterday. Klopp comes out and he says, do you know what? I'm going to make Gomez the backup right back on a permanent basis, and I'm going to buy another young centre-back.
Oh, yeah, bro, it's Fofana for me. Nobody else. Nobody.
Good point, you know, because he used to fill in early doors. He did used to fill in for Trent in the big games, didn't he? Right?
Yeah, he did. Even against, in fact, Daps, against you, I think it was it's either the 18, 19. Remember when they had the little bust-up thing where, no, wasn't even that actually. No. It was
when Trent was first, like, obviously, well, he's still young now, to be fair. But when Trent first started in the big games, they'd say, do you know what? Let's play
put
Gomez on the right because he's defensively that little bit maturer.
Yeah.
But would Fofana really join them to be fourth choice centre back? Like,
he wouldn't. All right, but here's the thing, though. But he wouldn't. See, here's the thing. The way how we seem to play our centre backs, it does feel like, if I'm being honest, other than Joe Gomez, everyone's been given a fair chance. So Virgil van Dijk is obviously the number one. Then you've got Matip and Ibu. Now, even though Ibu was only bought last summer, he's played a lot of games. More games than actually what I thought he would actually play. I thought Ibu would probably be behind Joe Gomez, and even if he wasn't, he wouldn't play this many games. But Ibu's actually played a lot of games. That's why I kind of feel like it would have to be someone would leave. And I think when you're a young player and you know you've got the ability, you kind of have to trust yourself to like make that next step. And that's what Ibu's done. So that's why if there's ever a case of maybe in Fofana having doubts about going to Liverpool, he'd have to look at an Ibu and go, but you know what though? Look what he's done, because he's come true, and within the space of less than 12 months, he's already managing to establish himself to the point where it's like, if Matip doesn't play and Ibu plays, we're not surprised because we're like, nah, he's in the rotation.
But
my
you know
only
what that
worry,
is?
Just quickly, that's my only worry. My only worry would be though is that a team like a Man City or a Spurs or a United might be able to pinch him if you're able to offer him that definitive first team football. Because if I'm being honest, George, I think Fofana for Spurs would be absolutely amazing if you paired him up with Romero. So you got Romero, him.
Is Fofana left or right-footed? I can't quite.
He's right-footed, but he's very adept at also playing on the left as well. But he's an athletic machine. He reminds me of like a young Varane. He reminds me of a young Varane.
Not injury prone.
Yeah, without the injuries though, obviously.
See, I'd stick him in that three. Romero, Fofana.
I'm telling
one more bad boy.
He's such a talent, and Drift really knows about this. I've been championing his brother from time, and yeah, man, it's good to see though that he's back as well, because obviously he had the really, really bad injury, and like Dap said just before the season started, like that's crazy. So yeah, man.
It's his bounce back as well. Like I often speak about how you lot managed the Van Dijk injury, and I thought it was managed sensationally, because I was seeing pictures of him in training, although not kicking a ball, but as early as round about March time last year. But it was like there was no rush back, and then Holland didn't play him, but the first day of the tour he was there, right? And I said, this is a big deal. They're letting his muscles, and we didn't do that with Company, and it ruined his career. And you've seen it with Van Dijk now that he hasn't got a reoccurring. So far, Fofana, considering he's only been back a couple of weeks. Right?
Yeah.
And he's already after this long come back playing like that. But what I was going to say before when you were talking about cover, about number of defenders, is what you lot are seeing this season is kind of like what I've seen for a few seasons with City. And I'm not taking shots here at all, but you lot potentially this season are going to play every single game that is possible, right? So when you are a team that are playing that many games, players that you think haven't played that much, at the end of the season, when you go and look at how many games they've played, all of a sudden you're like, fucking hell, this guy's played 25 to 30 games and he's a bit part player. So when you're like that, go to Liverpool, play 25, 30 games and challenge for everything, or go to Tottenham, no disrespect to Tottenham, and play 30, 35 games but not challenge for anything. It's like, which one are you going to take? Because you're still part of the team that is challenged for everything. You're still going to get enough games in all of them to have the trophy. So,
to be fair, that's why a lot of teams would still go City, no matter what the squad depth's like. You'd still just go to them because you're basically challenging for everything. So, like,
look at Ake right now. Look at Ake right now, right? Because of injuries and whatever else, he played against Liverpool. He played against Atletico. He'll probably play in the weekend in the cup. And again, with Walker injured, he's probably going to finish. And Cancelo, I think, suspended. He's going to play in the next leg of the Champions League. So all of a sudden, it makes sense why he came to us.
And I mean, now he swapped Bournemouth for City. No disrespect. Bro, I would rather play for City in a rotation than Bournemouth every week.
Exactly. And just quickly as well, sorry, Jeff, just quickly as well. I just quickly checked here. I didn't even realize this, but I should have remembered. You know, Fofana's only 21, bro.
Wow. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I know.
This, I'm telling you from now, whoever gets him.
I'm saying you could have the future French link-up Konate Fofana at the back in 4 years' time, 5 years' time.
I'll even say this, yeah. In fact, no, this might be a step too far, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The day Virgil van Dijk decides I don't know, like he can't do it no more, whatever, bro. Fofana best have that the phone line better be open, fam. I'm telling you, he's the guy.
I mean, I can see you look like a proud dad. I can see the smile on your face.
Listen, bro, it's joy talking about this player, you know. Trust me. He's
big. So just before we move on, George, obviously you didn't actually give your feelings about Brendan, and how do you feel about Brendan as a manager and this achievement for Leicester?
Look, I think he's a good manager, but I wouldn't go any further than that because even this year's a little bit more understandable. Like the injuries, like it's a lot of injuries. Like Leicester have missed so much. It's sort of like you guys last year. Probably even worse than that, to be honest with you. Like, so they weren't really expected to do anything. But the problem I have is the 2 seasons prior, he's bottled Champions League places pretty much within 2 weeks to go of the league. So that's where, for me, I feel like
injuries played a part both times as well, George.
However, not as heavy as this year, though. Not
a bigger thing. I think there's 2 bits, and Matt just made a really good point. Last season, the bit that I thought was crazy was the Maddison. There was Maddison and I think 1 or 2 other players. I get what they did. I understand why he pulled them up. But at the point he pulled them up, maybe, you know what? I'm going to remember this. End of the season, we're going to have a chat about this. But to pull up your key player with like 3 games to go, maybe that time was right. But credit to him that he's now sorted it with Maddison to a point where Maddison now wants to stay again. So I do think that was a bit naive of him to pull him up.
Exactly, because remember, and just to even what you just saying there, I just remembered as well. Remember, there was a lot of talk with Maddison and Arsenal at one point. Do you remember? There was a lot of talk about that, and I said to myself, "Right, like Maddison."
That was money, though, Matt.
It was.
They knew they could get Odegaard for 20 something. Maddie would have cost like 50 something.
No. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that he was even linked to Arsenal was because they were basically, apparently it was his side of the camp that wasn't letting that story die down. They kept on saying, well, you never know what's going to happen with Maddison. He could leave. They wouldn't shut the story down.
Did he get a new wage?
Yeah, I think he did that. Did he get a pay rise, Maddison? He might have, even still.
I'm not sure.
But I know now they're saying 80 million. They won't let him go for any less than 80 million, apparently.
Look, Maddison is a baller. Like,
he is.
He
but
just
he's not
is,
80
man.
though. He's not 80.
No, 80 is too much. But
that is prem tax and
you know what Leicester are doing?
I would be concerned with the injury as well, because they do seem to have rushed him back a fair bit because he's had a couple of injuries this season. So I think that's something to watch out for.
So just quickly, would we? I mean, without disrespect to the FA Cup, because it's a brilliant cup within itself, but I still believe a European tournament is better than the domestic cup, in my opinion. I don't know if you lot agree. So if they do pull this off, this would still be the second biggest season in their history, right? Surely, after winning the Premier League.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%. Because
as far as we know it,
it would be. As you said, a European trophy is still a European trophy. Do you know how much teams would love to win a European trophy and they haven't won one? Like,
well, we've won one, but we
yeah. Like, bro, that's like for them.
To be fair,
it'll be massive.
they'll be the first names as well on the trophy.
Yeah,
ever.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, the best. They'll be like,
bro.
is it Uruguay were the first team to win the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken?
Competition
Right?
just being birthed, fam, and
that's a pretty big deal, isn't it, to be the first team to ever
We were
win.
the first English team to win a European competition. Just saying.
Do you want a trophy for that?
Yeah, we go
on. So, moving on to the upper echelon of Europe. You know what I mean? We'll start with the fight, and then we'll move on to the football afterwards, because it wasn't a football match. It was a fight. I saw Foden with a head bandage. De Bruyne had to limp out the game. Kyle Walker had to limp out the game. Like, people are getting their hair pulled like it's the barber shop. It was nuts. Like, it was actually
it was carnival,
nuts.
fam. It was carnival.
Like, it was crazy. The disrespect. I've seen it now as well. With the subtleness of the disrespect, it was ridiculous.
It's the way Grealish was like, you thing, and then it's the way Savage kind of looked at him and just like draped his hair, fam. I was like, nah, you can't do that. And
so actually, do you know what? Just before we get into it, I don't want to forget. Big up Sharon on becoming a member as well. Big up yourself. Much appreciated for that one. And Jota says, yeah. Oh, so did Roma get through in the end? So it's Jose versus Brendan. It's Roma versus Leicester in the semi-final. That's our big semi-final, I can't lie. And that's the thing as well. PSV, Roma, Leicester. Like, you were in it. There's actually much bigger names than you realize would have been in that tournament. Like, when I first heard it, I thought it was going to be
from
like...
Europa, though, didn't they? So that was the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Which is actually quite embarrassing, but yeah. So that's we get onto your fight. Here's what I want to start with, and then you can let me know how you feel.
Every man grab a girl.
Pep seems to me, like he's actually becoming flexible, which makes it even more scary, because it means he's not only the best manager arguably already, but then he's going to go to another level if he becomes flexible. He went attacking against Liverpool in the league. Then yesterday he went defensive, proving there's two sides to Man City, where we didn't really think there was two sides to you. I'm seeing Foden learning how to roll back onto the pitch to delay time. I'm seeing all these type of dark art things coming in. I'm like, are Man City actually evolving a little bit more than we thought they was even capable of, which to me is even more scarier. So talk to me, bro. How do you feel about the game? How do you feel about the tactics?
You know, when you kept saying about the fight or the game, I'm thinking, what have you heard about the night before? UEFA,
the game, not outside the stadium, inside.
Well,
bro.
not even UEFA went and made a mistake by putting Chelsea and City in the same city.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on the Insta there. That was a bit mad.
Yes, it was stupid. The police should have been mad at UEFA for that. But yeah, you know what? I feel like Pep went there to try and play one way, and we got dragged into it. It was like pretty clear early doors. It was going to be the same as the first game. There was a few. I mean, Mahrez didn't look up for the fight too tough. I'll be honest. Mahrez didn't have the best of games. Rodri was giving the ball away a little bit, and we were screaming, Fernandinho needs to come onto this game. Like, it was just screaming for Fernandinho so much. I probably might even say Walker going off, and I think Aki came on for him, and then him and Cancelo switched sides. That was probably helped us, because then we had a centre-back that is always going to be able to fight that little bit more than a fullback. That probably helped us. But they were just, I mean, there were some decisions that were from where I was sat, and we were quite high, to be fair. They looked crazy. John Stones had a sensational game. Laporte had a good game. But when Fernandinho came on, it's like he came on for the last 20, and it's like he almost told everyone, this is what we're going to do now. So with 10, 15 minutes to go, when Foden got the ball, corner flag, straight to the corner flag. And it's like, if you want to run in and try and slide tackle me, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to stay down, because that's what you did in the first leg. So no one can tell us about doing it in the second leg. You know what? It's sad, isn't it, that football is like that? That's not how we would want to play. I can tell you now, Liverpool City will never be like that. It won't. We'll come and we'll both try and win a game. Atletico, they wanted to win a game by any means necessary, which I get it, but first leg by any means necessary. I don't know. But yeah, we got, look, for us, we were saying after the game, a bit like you just said there, that was a big result for us because it's probably the first time in Europe that we have shown if it turns into a dogfight, we'll do the dogfight if we have to. And maybe against Real Madrid in the next round, we might have to do the same. It's going to be hostile at the Bernabeu. It's not going to be easy. So, yeah, proud through to another semi-final, 2 years on the bounce. The worst thing is, and I was saying this to Steve last night, for us to win the Champions League, we have to beat, I think, and someone might be able to correct me, apart from Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Real Madrid probably have the biggest Champions League legacy. So for us to win, we've got to beat two of the biggest DNAs in Champions League football, which is not easy. So we go again. If we don't win it, we get called flops. Pep gets called a flop, but we'll see you in the final, hopefully.
Well, I mean, on that one, and George, obviously you're the one who doesn't have a dog in the fight. How did you feel about the Man City and the Liverpool performances in terms of, how both of them went through in such different ways?
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't watch either of them. I was too busy with work, but obviously I did see all the commotion and stuff afterwards from the game, which was just nuts. But I think that has to be expected from Atletico, man. They do this every single year, every game in these sort of competitions. So, but yeah, I think it's to be honest with you, I think the results sort of went the way that everyone was expecting. I didn't quite expect Benfica to score as many goals against you guys, but I mean, you obviously came through anyway. So yeah, man, it's going to be a tasty semis, and it's going to be painful to see it potentially be an all-English team again, and Spurs absolutely nowhere near. So yeah, it's going to be a tasty one.
I mean, you was part of the last one. Us and you were the last all-English Champions League, weren't we? There hasn't been enough.
That was the last one.
Chelsea City last year.
Oh yeah, Chelsea Man City last year. Oh yeah,
it's regular now. It's regular. This is what English clubs are doing. It's regular.
Yeah. So I mean, Matt, I don't know. Obviously, we're not going to chop up the whole Highline Benfica rubbish again. We'll get into that.
No, we won't do that again.
We'll get into that
until tomorrow.
I know nothing about the game, so it's quite interesting to hear about it, because obviously how it's going to impact how you play in the FA Cup and whatever, because I don't know if it was a dogfight, who played, who didn't play or anything.
Oh, so. No. It was quite an easy victory in the end, but in the last 15-20 minutes, we let them have 2 goals, and it was just very lazy defending, and it's just a little bit annoying, you know what I mean? A little bit annoying. I think 6-2 up on aggregate, we just got complacent, you know?
Yeah, so, no, I agreed.
That goes. But how did you think about the Man City game, bro? Did you? Because here's the funny thing. I only watched the second half. I didn't bother with the first half because I heard all the commotion and the main good parts of the game was in the second half. And to their credit, even though they were idiots for the first 3 quarters of the game, Atletico actually really started to attack a lot. And I was sitting there annoyed because I'm thinking, as a neutral, even when I'm watching a game, I want both teams to be trying. And if Atletico were capable of it, like they showed in the second half of the second leg, why do they not unleash Griezmann and Felix and Suarez and all these players? Like, they've got Kondogbia, who's very good, who can just sit in the middle and let the others go and do what they do. I don't know why they are.
They've got flipping my guy I wanted to get, Rodrigo de Paul, who I wanted to get from.
He was on the bench yesterday, man.
Bro, here's the thing about Atletico. They actually have some amazing individual players, Like, I'm not even joking. That they've got a really good crop of players, like mixture of like experienced and young players. But for whatever reason, when Simeone sends them out at times, I understand this whole dogged mentality of like, we're going to kind of rough up the opponent, bro. But it's almost like sometimes his team loses sight on what they're actually trying to accomplish. And that's trying to win a game. And that's what happened in the first game. Bruv, in the first game, the first leg, bruv, they put every man behind the ball. There was no attack. I'm not even joking. It was literally like...
2 runs of 5.
It was literally like, if you want to go see a training match, go and watch that game. Like, this is the Champions League. I understand that you're worried about your opponent, but remember, if you give your opponent something to worry about, maybe they'll have something to worry about. But it's like Atletico didn't do that at all. And then in this second leg here, you could see they were like thinking, okay, let's see if we can try and do something. But it was a bit too late. The only thing that I saw was even slightly controversial in the whole game was, I think there was was it a trip Daps, I think on Correa, where I think he connected with Cancelo. And when I saw the replay, I thought, oh, that could have maybe been a penalty, even though he went down kind of easy. But other than that,
it was on the edge. It was just outside.
Yeah, I was just on it. Other than that, though, City dominated like you expected. But as you said, Atletico kind of like ramped it up a bit. Well, aggressive, but in the right way of playing. However, one thing I don't like, I was saying, me and Dax was speaking before we went live, is like, I just don't like the way how sometimes people will do the whole praising thing of like Atletico, like getting in people's faces and whatever. And I know we laugh and joke about it, but like some of the things I feel like they were doing, bro, it's not even football anymore. It just gets a bit stupid. Like dragging man off the pitch, like Foden and all them things there, and like kicking people. And I get it.
And it was against his old team. How do you actually feel about that? Because he's actually an old boy of you.
Savage.
You know what it is? Yeah? Savage, like, it's very clear he's bitter that he just wasn't. He didn't cut the mustard for us.
Yeah,
he was poor.
He's bitter.
But yeah, you know what the thing is? I was going to say before, you were talking about how Pep showed that he can be a bit more flexible, right? And I noticed it. I always talk about the first game against you boys at your gaff. The way he for the first 25 minutes, it's like he'd learned to respect the 12th man and was like, just every time we get the ball, just calm down and play it backwards. Let's annoy this Liverpool fans so they start getting a bit quieter, right? And I saw that this season and thought, you know what, that's clever for him. It's showing that he's growing and understanding what this league's about. Yesterday, I think it was kind of similar. However, Atletico Madrid, yeah, what you need to do is, with Manchester City's fans and their manager and their players, we all can get very nervous about certain things. I sensed it when Suarez came on the pitch, right? No one, from players to fans, wanted Luis Suarez to put us out of that tournament, right? It would not be bearable, right? Same as if last game of the season, we lose to Villa or drop points to Villa with Gerrard there, yeah, it's not going to be bearable.
And Coutinho scores. Yeah.
And I could sense the nerves from the fans going to the players the minute Suarez was on the pitch. Simeone probably should have started Suarez because he would have rattled us. He would have. And just those little things. I think, sorry about my voice, is really gone, but I think with Simeone, the atmosphere in that ground is insane, right? And I think maybe he almost relies on that because with like 15 minutes to go, he's jeering up the crowd. And I think he can just shit. He thinks sometimes he can just shithouse his way through to the next round. And it just didn't work yesterday.
Agreed.
But now we're absolutely tripled to play you on Sunday.
Well, we're definitely getting to that. So Champions League, obviously, we're going to do a lot more chopping up later on. And we're going to it in much more detail. But obviously, while we've got Daps here, Real Madrid, I know you talked about the royalty, but in my opinion, you're going to slap the shit out of them. And that's not in a disrespectful way. They're just not the Real Madrid of old. And I think Benzema is just playing so out of this world that him and Modric are like doing like I mean, don't get me wrong, Vinny is actually playing this part as well. But even so, what are we talking about? 3, possibly 4 players here performing it, because Courtois is definitely doing his part. But City are just a team of 11. Everybody contributes. I don't see Real Madrid being able to control, live with, or contain Man City over 2 legs. I just don't. So I don't know how you're feeling going into that one. That's
you know what? I feel like at the moment, let's just get through these next couple of weeks with the league, please, and we'll talk about the Champions League. Look, I don't know. The one thing we can't be rushing. I don't know what injury De Bruyne's got. He I feel like he limped off. It wasn't too bad, but we can't be rushing him back. If we want to win the Champions League, we cannot be rushing back De Bruyne, because last season in the final, before he got headbutted by Rudiger, he already deep down, he wasn't fit. Like, we'd rushed him back. We can't be doing that this season. So De Bruyne's going to have to spend a minute on the bench. You said it spot on. I don't mind playing Real Madrid. I just don't really want to play Benzema. And Modric has come back like for one last hurrah, apparently, against Chelsea. Was 15 kilometers or something like that. Passes
Yeah,
for
someone's
days.
going to have to check what he drinks, man.
I think he's been great all season.
But for real, I mean, Fernandinho came on, like I said, for us for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, he was trying to jog back and he just looked tired because his legs have just gone.
Yeah. But he's 37 in a couple of weeks or something, isn't he? Like, and he's got a lot of miles in the legs, Fernandinho.
Yeah, but I mean, Milner, how's Milner for you boys now? Milner puts a
shift. Yeah, Milner's 36, yeah.
Modric is 36 as well, to be fair.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's, for me at the moment, I can't talk on it because I don't know how long Walker's going to be out. I mean, someone put our potential defence against Real Madrid at the moment, and it may well be Laporte, Diaz, Stones. No, Laporte, Diaz. No, let me start again. Aki, Laporte, Diaz, John Stones. So 4 centre-backs against Real Madrid.
Oh, okay. That could be a bit tricky still.
Cancelo suspended. Walker's injured.
Just get them all to Mark Benzema and you'll be all right.
Yeah,
for you, revolutionary four centre-back surround sound.
That's fair enough. I get what you mean because there is about 3 games in between. So I do get what you mean. You're gonna have to assess the squad when you get there for real. So this is something that I just literally was sitting there yesterday and I was just thinking. And a couple of people said some things and I found it a little bit disrespectful. So I just want to know what you lot are thinking. Now I tweeted out yesterday, this is a serious conversation and we have to have this because it's it's like a legit topic. Which partnership this season is the best? Is it Kane and Son or is it Vinny and Benzema? So I want to just talk to you lot right now because people are coming at me like I was asking a silly question, like the team that's in the Champions League semi-final, that's a silly question. I'm like, hold on, it's irrelevant whether Tottenham are in Europe or not. Son and Kane are sensational as a partnership. You cannot sleep on it just because they're not playing in the Champions League. So I'm going to ask George last so he gets a chance to, stew on it. I'll start with you, Matt. Which pairing, and I mean playing together, it's not just about if he's an individual player. I'm talking about the connection they have as a team. Who are you going for, bro? Kane and Son or Vinny and Benzema?
I think over the course of this season, from what I've seen of both, I'm actually going to go Benzema and Vinny Jr. Reason being is because I think, obviously, Son and Kane, for me, they've done it in patches. When Spurs really needed them, they weren't doing the business. When Conte came out and was saying things like, I don't even know whether I'm the man for this job. Like, people kind of forget about that. That's not taking nothing away from them because it's almost like saying, if they don't show up, Spurs don't show up. That's not true. What it is that they're integral. I rate them both so highly. Both of them are world-class players. They're world-class. But this season, I'm not going to lie, Benzema's arguably been the best striker in Europe. And Vinny Jr. has had his breakout season and he's been absolutely immense for them in big games as well. And I think for me, it's the consistency. So I would slightly edge it to Zema, Kareem the Dream, and flipping Vinny, because as much as I rate Son and Kane, they've been a bit inconsistent, bro. They have, and a bit like Spurs. Like, we're seeing them now come to the forefront again. Because remember, it started off well, then they went that down patch, then came back a little bit, then had that down patch, and now they're back again. But for me, Benzema and Vinny Jr. have just done it consistently throughout the whole season. So that I'll give it to them too.
What, the championship next year?
Man said Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin,
Big up. So Dabs, who would you go for? Would you go for Kane and Son, or would you go for Vinny and Benzema?
You know what? The funniest thing is, I only found out the other day how much Son's doing so well numbers-wise. Just before we played Tottenham in the second game we lost to them. I was on the Spaces with someone, and I was saying, do you know what? Everyone's aiming at Kane, but I feel like Son needs to hold some smoke as well because he's having a very quiet season. And then obviously history, the next day we played Tottenham and Son turned up. And it's even more reason why I'm never going to do predictions on anything. But it surprises me, his numbers, I'm not going to lie. But I think Matt just said it's like summed it up perfectly. All season, I think Benzema's been cold all season. I think he's second top scorer in the Champions League. Real Madrid are top, right?
Yeah. This
You start looking at that, it's all relevant. I think what Kane and Son have shown this season is when they're at their best, they're unreal. And that's why they're now in this conversation again. But if you would have gone back 4 months ago, this conversation would not even be possible to be had. So,
yeah, fair enough. I mean, George, do you agree? I mean, even if I was to take this season out for you personally, because it may be a bit unfair because you did start the season so poorly. So for you, I'll ask just in general. So Vinny and Benzema have been together for 3 years. Son and Kane have been together for 5. Is it 5?
5 or 6, yeah. It's been a while now.
So obviously it's a little bit longer, but who would you go for just in general, even over the course of the entire time they played together, not just this season? Who are you going for?
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say. Like, if it was, the season, I'd have to give it to Vinny and Benz because they've just been on fire the whole year, winning the league and whatever. But if you're obviously looking at, like, since the start of the year, I think Kane, Son and Kulusevski have been unreal. And then, of course, I think if you're taking the last 3 years or so, I think Kane and Son definitely, like, look at last year. And you don't become the all-time the best duo in terms of goals and assists for each other by only doing it every now and again sort of thing. So I think over the last few years, I think for sure I'll take Kane and Son all day long. Those two just know each other. Did you see that assist from Kane against Aston Villa?
Yeah,
where the ball was played forward. One little glance this way and just went bink, head back, and Son was already gone. Like they do this every single week. It's crazy. I think Benz and Vinny probably need a couple more years together to maybe get that sort of level of understanding. But there's no doubt they'd have an amazing year.
You know what? I'm not taking nothing away from that because that was sick. When I saw that, I was like, nah, Kane's fake. What's he doing? Man's got eyes in the back of his head, yeah. Because as you said, he looked one glance, and as the ball came to him, he was just like, I know where Son's going to be, yeah. Mm-hmm. However, I've seen Benzema and Vinny Jr. do some mad, stupid link up as well, you know. I'm talking Vinny Jr. twisting up 2 man, giving it to Benzema. Benzema gives it back to him, and he gives it, and then Vinny Jr. gives it back to Zema. They have been doing the most. And do you want to know something as well, actually, which is actually quite surprised me? I wanted to look at their goal scoring this season. And I'm not going to lie, it's actually very close. So Son in all competitions has 18. Vinny Jr. in all competitions has 17. Harry Kane in all competitions has 22. Kareem the Dream has 38. Whew. I'm not gonna lie. And
Benzema had a big head start on Kane though, because Kane didn't start his season until December.
So if we double it, it's 44. Oh, there you go. They can.
No. Of course. But you know, Kane. I don't even want to do this to Kane because Kane has actually played this season, if I've got this correct, 43 times. And
yeah, but we know the first 20 odd games he wasn't really there.
He only didn't play in those first 3 at the beginning of the season.
I know he wasn't. But the transfer thing as well.
Like he scored
so Matt,
two goals before Christmas.
And I'm gonna come to Daps with the same question after this. So Matt, real quick. Everything is realistic. There's no he's the best, whatever this in his prime. It's just right now, this summer coming up right now. Liverpool have got a choice between Benzema and Kane to come and be the number 9 for Liverpool. Which one you taking?
How long are they signing for?
Kane would be 3 years, Benzema would be 2 years.
Same age.
Ask Daps first. Let me think about it.
All right, Daps. Which one you taking? You need a striker. Which one you taking? Kane or Benzema?
Are they the same?
No.
Yeah. Right now in the real world, yeah.
Right. The real world. So nah. It's got to be Kane, unfortunately, based on Benzema.
What you saying? They're on the same age? What's that again?
No. Real world. So Kane 28, Benzema 34. Real world.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got to be Kane, unfortunately. But give me Haaland.
Do you know what?
You can have Haaland. He ain't taking Kane.
You know what? It would be Kane, but the only reason I'm actually going Kane is the age factor. You know, I can't have him front. That's and that's not disrespecting Kane. I just think Zima's been doing his thing for time, and he's very underrated.
He's world class, man.
Kane is world class as well. It's like it just depends on preference, like who you prefer. I think
Like-
they're both just. It's just preference, bro.
Kane,
You know what it is with
Benzema, Lewandowski. Scrap. Who's winning?
You know what?
Yeah, I'm not
You know
gonna
what?
lie. Yeah, you threw the cat amongst the pigeons right there. I don't even know. And then you might as well throw Haaland in there as well for a laugh.
Mbappe?
You know what?
Okay,
Nah,
let's
Haaland's
just
not
go.
allowed in that
Haaland's not earned it
conversation
yet.
yet.
He ain't earned
Yeah,
it.
not yet.
You know what it
Not
is?
yet.
with
He hasn't
Benzema?
earned the right to be in there yet.
What about my guy Kylian? Is he
No,
allowed?
no,
Nah,
he
he
isn't.
ain't
And he's not the same type of
It's
player
weird
either. He's
though, 'cause
not
he's
an
like
out
a
and out 9, is he?
Yeah,
I know
he's like a hybrid
he's
winger.
not he's not yeah, I get you.
He's basically
You know
Salah on the opposite wing, really. He's a
Yeah,
winger that
exactly.
obviously basically gets all the goals, pretty much.
Do you know what
Yeah.
it is with
Moving forward.
Benzema for me? That like, if you look at how long Benzema's been at Real Madrid, yeah, and everyone knows Real Madrid is a team that they make big Galactico signings, right? If you want a Galactico, the position that will always fill a Galactico is a striker, because that's the number. It's what everyone thinks is the best position on the pitch and whatever else. And
Mhm.
whenever it's got down to it, whoever they're linked with, right, they just never end up replacing Benzema. Because deep down, apart from Lewandowski, in my opinion, tell me a striker that over the last 10 years has been better than Benzema. And that's
It's
why
probably just Ronaldo, isn't it? I guess.
But he's not a
Messi.
striker. He's not a striker, really, is he? He plays more a bit, especially when they signed him. He was more a wide.
Yeah,
If you're
I mean,
talking
they
for
turned
10
him
years.
into one, innit? They turned
Yeah,
him
if you
into
took
a
it for
striker.
10, that because obviously Zima, this is his 13th season.
And they've never replaced him.
And
However
when
much they
also-
might be linked, it's like,
Bro,
why replace him when he's still doing what he can
they've
do?
tried to throw everything at him. There were times, remember when they had Higuain back in the day?
Big one, yeah.
They had flipping. I think they had even had like, what's his name? Who's the guy that they bought from Frankfurt that they thought might
Oh,
potentially?
Jovic.
Jovic. Yeah, we spoke this last week, didn't
They
we?
got him, bro. I'm telling you from now, even if they do get Mbappe or Haaland this summer, I guarantee you, Kareem the Dream still
Suarez.
stays.
Yeah.
I
Shout from
guarantee
Shad
you
just there.
that striker would have to either work with Benzema or Benzema's making it so hard to the point where it's like, no, I'm not going nowhere. Like, he's like
He's that
fine
guy.
wine. He's 34 years of age, and I'm not gonna lie to you, he still plays like he was 28.
Mm.
You know how
what?
crazy that
Did you see his headers last week? Yeah.
bro?
Yeah.
Nah, fam.
That placement.
Strikers' headers, the placement, and it's one of them from so far out. It's like, you know what? A lot of
Different,
people
bro.
score headers, and it seems like, yeah, I'm not saying they do this, but they jump up, they get their head on it, and you know what? Head it down or head it. His placement was just different. It wasn't like, oh, follow these rules, and you know, it was perfect. It was like
Yeah.
top corners.
It reminded me
No,
of
it
that
was.
Suarez
I
one
forgot
years
about this
ago.
guy,
That was
Suarez,
like, was it
you
I was
know?
just
Norwich or
gonna.
something?
I think
I
it
saw
was
the
West
comments.
Brom
Or West Brom.
I saw the comments.
when he headed it from the edge of the box. I don't even know how he got so much power in that header. I
mental.
really
But they're
don't.
also saying Suarez is another one for the conversation
Yeah, that's
of about
definitely-
last 10 years.
Oh no,
innit?
I wouldn't involve Suarez now because he's like kind of done. But like over the last 10 years, Suarez is the best striker of our
Yeah, yeah,
generation,
I mean,
in my opinion.
Unfortunately, Aguero never did enough in Europe.
Yeah.
But if he
I
had,
agree that,
he
yeah.
could have been in the conversation. But he's had a few good nights in Europe. He hasn't, unfortunately, done enough to probably, for me, in Premier League, yeah, he'll always be in that conversation. But you have to do it in the Champions League to get in them type of conversations. So
Yeah, I've always said, I don't know how you non-Liverpool guys feel, but Suarez being a little dirty scumbag's always going to mar him. But Suarez can sit at the table with Ronaldo, Zidane, Messi. Like Suarez can, when it's all said and done, he can sit at that table. And I think a lot of people
I
don't
think he
realize
can as
it,
well.
but
I know.
Suarez can sit at that table.
I
With
hate his
Ronaldinho and
personality.
like, he genuinely can sit at that table.
I think
You
you
know
know, I
what?
think he's got the most assists.
I don't
I
think
think-
people will though, because of the fact that he's got that
Mm.
that whole personality trait.
What's
I think
that
people
Yeah.
will forever and
Assist.
always remember him for that.
As a striker.
now
I'm
it will
not
also be
considering
held
that
against him.
conversation.
He played. No disrespect, it will be held against him that he played for Liverpool as well. Because the minute you play for Liverpool fan base are going to back you 100%, and certain other fan bases will hold it against you because of the fact Liverpool fan bases are backing you 100%. We're seeing it with Trent, right? Because Trent, at his age, is an absolute phenomenal footballer who these conversations, these debates that some channels have every single week have no room to be had. Like, they don't. He's too good for his age to be comparing him to anyone that has one good season. So I think there is that element to it as well. With Suarez,
Well
this
said,
is
by the way, that well said.
well, it's
Well
it's
said.
football. The other thing is with with Suarez as well. Might be a bit controversial. People that talk about Neymar, right? For me, Messi, Neymar, Suarez link up. Neymar was third. Like Suarez and Messi were
Matt,
more.
How you feel about that one, Matt?
That front three is the best front three I think I've seen since I've been.
Yeah,
you know what?
But
It's the best front three ever assembled.
The front three that's
Has
ever
to.
assembled. I don't
Mental.
like if I listen, I'm gonna tell you a mind-boggling stat right here. Luis Suarez for Barcelona, when he went there and played for 6 seasons, yeah. In the league, he got 147 goals in 191 games. He got 198 overall goals in 283 games for Barcelona. Bro,
while
this
Messi was scoring all the goals he was scoring as well, by the way.
I think people need a reminder. In the 15-16 season, I think he outscored everybody in Europe. He got 59 goals, bro.
Was that season that they popped off, that 15-16? You know, when the whole front three got like 58 goals and assists. No, what was it, like 70 goals and assists each or something like that? Stupid.
Listen.
Stupid.
That was the Jose Enrique season, innit? That was a ridiculous season.
This is a bold statement, what I'm going to say as well. I also feel like because of the type of player he is, I actually feel like he prolonged Messi's career. Because of the dirty running that this guy used to do. He sacrificed himself to the point where he literally left Barcelona and lost all of his athleticism. He done everything he could for Messi while still getting his. Do you know how hard that is to do? Because listen, Messi, people will say is either one or two best ever, yeah. But if there's only one thing about Messi you would say over the last, say, 4 years, maybe, is that when his team ain't got the ball, Messi ain't pressing, bro. He's standing there. I literally will see Messi stand there and he will walk. He will walk. And I'm seeing Suarez run back and try and get the ball.
It's the reason why PSG are in the position they're in, because not one of their front three run back.
Exactly. And also because they, in the Champions League, the disrespect to leave Ronaldo out of your squad, right, who is a Champions League winner and one of the best midfielders we've seen for probably the last 5 years in the Premier League, and they go and leave him out so that they can like put Neymar in, who's just going to run about. PSG we've played them 4 times in the Champions League. They just haven't got what it takes. And in the meantime, right? So since Messi left Barcelona, he went to PSG to team up with Messi, who he previously played with at Barcelona. How's that gone? Right. In the meantime, when Suarez left Barcelona, he went to Atletico Madrid. How did that go? They won the league.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of issues. If I be honest, though, I know what you're saying.
You
are right.
Which is mad. He left Barcelona and went to win the league with Atleti. That's crazy, isn't it? When you think
there's a lot of issues there in PSG, man. You can tell, as you said, like mentality-wise, it's not even there. Because here's the thing: well, you've got amazing players like that. Yes, if you construct your team properly, you might be able to get away with maybe 1 or 2 not putting in as much as some of the others. But there's just too many. There's too many prima donnas. There literally are. Like, there's times when it gets down to the real nitty-gritty, and you've really got to like do like, you know, just get stuck in. They won't do it because they always feel like they don't need to. They're too good. And what's so mad is in their league they are too good, and in Europe they actually are better than 75% of the teams. But again, when you get to that crunch time period, you can't do that. You can't come up against a Bayern Munich or a Real Madrid or a Man City or a Liverpool and think, right, boy, we're PSG, you know. I'm Neymar. I'm Messi. I'm Mbappe. You can't do that, bruv. Man are looking to take your head off. You can't come with that mentality, bruv.
No, you can't.
So,
no, it's true, man. All right, so moving away from Europe, I enjoyed that chat. That was fun. Let's, if you could bring up the thingy for me, please, Matt. The fixtures for this weekend.
Indeed. Let's have a look.
Just quickly before we move on, got a super chat from our boy Jammer. Big up yourself as always. Son has been the most clinical forward since 2016. I don't even know if I'd argue with that. Son is unbelievably clinical.
No, statistically, since 2016, his conversion rate is the best.
What, in Europe or Prem?
In Europe, he's by far the best, which is mental.
Yeah, his finishing is
know what?
is another
He
level.
doesn't just shoot for fun. He just finishes every chance he gets, which is mad.
But let me ask you this though: as great as Son
Ladies,
is, yeah,
watch out.
as great as Son is, though, I do want to ask this though, and maybe this is me being a bit harsh on him. If he's that clinical and that good, why do you think Son's never hit 25 in all comps? I don't think he ever has hit 25 ever. Do you think it's probably because of the chances he get? So even though it's clinical, do you think maybe, as you probably you know better than anyone, George, maybe he doesn't get as many chances as some of the others, if that makes sense?
No, he just has patches a lot of games. He's not consistent enough to be like, if he finished all the chances the way he has done in almost every single game, he would be one of the best players in the world, hands down. The problem is every single season he always seems to have maybe like, you'd have like 5 games where he would do nothing, and this happened very, very recently. He had like about 5 games where he would do nothing. You think, oh god, he's in terrible form. Is Conte going to drop him this, then the other? And people actually questioned it, and Conte was like, am I going to drop?
George,
what have we got to do that? And then look, he banged it the last couple of games again. So it just keeps happening in patches.
George, I disagree with you. I
disagree
with you. I disagree with you.
In what sense?
That the reason, and the reason that he is not seen as one of the best players in the world isn't the reason you just said, because that sounded like you were talking about Neymar just then, right? And any debate, someone will try and say Neymar's top 5 in the world or whatever. But Neymar is a prime example of turning up in certain games amazingly, but then having quiet games. The reason why Son will never be in a conversation like that is, unfortunately, because of the country and the club he plays for. And I know it's hard, but it's facts. He's not getting to do it on the stage where it's going to be recognised enough.
There is some facts to that still. There is
a little bit, but I also think you could I guess you could say the same for Kane though.
No, because he plays for England, and England is seen as a very big national country as far as for football. So there's always that element to it as well. He's also
I think Kane gets that disrespect. If I'm being completely honest with you, there are still people who doubt Kane. I don't know why, but there are still people who doubt him.
No, Kane. I see it all the time. Kane gets disrespected everywhere. Everyone hates him. Everyone hates him because he's at Spurs. It's the Spurs thing that's
no. You know what it is? You know what it is? Sometimes I think the way how football is portrayed, it's like it should be portrayed in a certain way. You see Harry Kane, yeah? He's in a weird way, he's not the most elegant footballer. So like, it's like people are almost annoyed at the fact that this guy is so good, but he doesn't play the way how I would like him to play. For example, I would say Benzema, Lewandowski are more elegant than Kane. Not necessarily, we're talking about best is more elegant. And I think what it is that people look at Harry Kane and think, this brother, man, he's not even that quick. Yeah, he's got a shot on that, but he can't really twist up 5 man, but he doesn't need to, though, does he? He's just got to put a ball in the back of the net. It's the same thing for Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer, yeah, in English football, yeah, is an absolute legend. But you see, outside of English football, Alan Shearer wasn't spoken about as some of the other strikers amongst Europe, and he should have been. Why? Because he wasn't as fashionable. I just think what it is with Kane, Kane's not as fashionable as an Mbappe or a Lewandowski or a Benzema. I think that's what it is.
But the club plays a massive part, because I'm not being funny. If Kane was at Man United, everyone
would get more flowers, 100%. No, he would.
Even how stinky Man United have been, because I'm not being funny. Every single year, it's always Kane has to move to do this. Kane has to move to do that. Yeah, when it comes to Declan Rice and West Ham asking for 120 million, all of a sudden it's the price that they want for him. Where the fuck was that energy last year with Kane? We wanted 150 mil for the best striker in the world, and you're telling me that's unreasonable. Like, come on, man! Like, it's the club, 100%. Everyone hates on Spurs.
Yeah, no, it is kind of true. It is actually kind of true. I must admit. And speaking of Spurs, let's start with you then, George. Let's start with you. You got Brighton. You've got the North London Slayers coming into town.
Hopefully not. just
man, they're back in North London, ready to. If they take North London over twice in a week, that's sensational. I'm not even gonna lie. That's something else. But talk to me, bro. How are you feeling about the game?
I'm feeling pretty confident, to be honest with you, because Arsenal are just Arsenal. That's the thing. Like you got to take it out of context. Like Brighton haven't won in 7 games or whatever it was before that, and we were one of those games as well. And they looked atrocious, and that was at their ground as well. And I was surprised as well because I thought Brighton had an amazing first half of the season, where all of a sudden everyone's saying the manager should be at Man United or something. Like he was in the conversation with him and Rodgers to get the Man United job next. But then all of a sudden it's fallen apart in 2022 for them, and they looked terrible at their ground. And I think, to be honest with you, just with the sheer power that Kane, Son,
we lost
George. Oh, am I?
I can hear you perfectly.
Can
you're
you
still there, bro. You're still there. Yeah, you're still good. You're still good.
Okay. I think it was me that went out there.
Yeah, it must have been because
drifted.
Yeah, I think it's just the front three right now is just too on fire for us not to score goals against, especially since it's at our ground. So I'd say like a 3-0 Spurs win, to be honest.
Okay. Daps, what are you saying for Spurs at home to Brighton, bro? What do you think that'll be?
Spurs win. Could be 3-0. Could be 3-0.
Oh, you're going 3-0 as well? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Matt, what are you saying about that one, bro?
Yeah, no, Spurs on form right now. Conte seems like he's gotten the answers that he needed from the players, and the players seem like they've responded. And Kane and Son on a madness. What they did to Villa, and I know Villa haven't been in good form anyway. Like that's another conversation for another day. Yeah, of course, Gerard. But in regards to Spurs, yeah, they're smacking up Brighton, bro. It's only going to be, it's going to be 2 or 3-0. 2 or 3-0.
Fair dues. Daps, I'll start with you on this one. You know, that little club across the road are at home to Norwich. Both teams are obviously having bad seasons, but Norwich are coming off the back of a brilliant win. I actually don't know how they did it, but they beat Burnley, and they were actually very good in the game. Obviously, we know what happened with Man United on Merseyside. So how do you feel about this one, bro?
So last week on another channel, I got asked to me and Colleen. Well, we do a prediction show with a few of us, and someone was saying that, I don't know, this could be a slipping point for Man United against Everton, but if they do what they're supposed to do, and I kind of said, look, we need to get over this whole United doing what they're supposed to do vibe now, because we've been saying it for too many years, and we've also now been saying it all season that but let's be real, if they do what they're supposed to do, this is not a 2-horse title race. Yeah. If they do what they're supposed to do, they sign Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo, right? Now, no one can tell me they're bringing in those players on those wages with the squad they already have to fight for top 4. They were supposed to be challenging for a league. And I said, so let's be real, they should be Everton, but they probably won't, right? And then a minute ago, I was on another stream and I got asked again, and I said, am I going to be bold enough to do it again? Well, tell me, if you could tell me Everton's running before they played Man United, they were very, very, very bad, right?
Yeah, they were terrible.
So I feel like I would not rule out a Norwich result. I wouldn't.
Right,
it's strange. Old Trafford has gone from a place where teams were beaten before they even got on the coach to go to the ground, right? As I was a kid. Now it's almost like Old Trafford is giving teams power. They're going there. They're not fearing the ground at all. And the fans are so toxic amongst themselves. I honestly wouldn't. It's a business end of the season. Any team can get result against anyone. And at the moment, United are all over the place. So, I mean, long may it continue for both of us. And even if Norwich get a draw, I'll take it.
So you're going to go for a draw? You're going to be brave enough to say Norwich draw?
Yeah, a draw.
Okay, George, how you feeling?
I agree 100% about the whole Old Trafford thing, because I think I've said this for a while as well this year, that it's that Man U just don't have the fear factor anymore. That's it. It's as simple as that. Like they just don't look. A lot of their players look like they just genuinely cannot be asked most games, and that's just not the mentality a club like Man United should have with the players. But they're too worried about, I guess, getting the shirt sales with some of the signings of their players than building the proper team at the moment. So, but if I'm being honest, I do think it's going to be a typical game where Man United don't look good. And there'll be a lot of people saying that, Man United hasn't done with the team yet, but it's going to be like a 1-0 Man United win. This happened a few times earlier in the season as well, where
yeah.
they didn't play well at all, but they always sort of find a way to get that goal, which is typically what Arsenal used to do. To be fair, so
Definitely not always, though. Definitely not always.
Well, yeah, but yeah, I'd probably say a 1-0 United, just clinch it.
Matt finishing up with that one. What do you think that one will be, bro?
I think United will probably just edge this one. I mean, I know like they are in kind of disarray in it. Like their season's kind of just gone to shreds, and they don't really know what they're doing. I don't even know what they're gonna. I mean, obviously they're getting in Ten Hag or whatnot, but that's for next season. They'd have to start all over again. They got to do that kind of rebuild thing with a new.
I'm wondering
manager.
how long it'll be before he's 5 Hag.
Yeah, probably even that. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, going on the game though, they'll probably scrape through. I think they'll probably win it 1-0. 1-0. But I reckon Norwich will give them a good game still.
Fair dues. Arsenal.
I was gonna say, I'm mad for saying that. Like, it will probably actually benefit them not being in any sort of European competition next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because obviously Hag would have all week like what Conte's got to really actually get a team to know how to play in it.
Look at Arsenal this season.
Well, it doesn't seem to have worked to me.
They had a good patch.
Better than eighth.
Well, you know what? Arsenal's best bet, and I'm not even bantering it. I was actually talking with Robbie about this today. Their best bet is actually to get rid of Arteta and bring in Vieira. It's a young manager who has got a project, who knows how to work with young players, but he's just better. He's just better.
That's what happened now. I think he's doing a good job at Palace.
Palace, let him do what he's doing at Palace. I know what you're saying. You're just saying if he was to go there, he might do.
No, I'm saying what I would do if I was the Arsenal board.
Oh, okay.
I'd stick to the same project, but I'd just get a manager who's better at doing it.
Yeah, the thing with Arsenal is, I've been saying this for a minute, is with Arsenal, they need to be like Arsenal's fans, even if Arsenal do get top 4 this season, right? Arsenal fans need to set their expectations correctly next season, right? Otherwise, it's peak for Arteta, because this season, if they get top 4, they've got top 4 because United haven't done what they're supposed to do, right? But with a new manager and hopefully, well, not hopefully, forget hopefully, with a new manager and hopefully to their fan base, he'll get it a bit better. Conte, Tottenham, another summer, they're going to challenge. I can't see Arsenal finishing top 4 next season. No way. I think the only chance they might is if Chelsea completely fall away with everything going on there. Otherwise, it's going to be long for them. And at that point, then it might be time for Vieira. I do get the Vieira one.
I hear that. I mean, what's mad is I was talking to Matt about this in our group. I'm here sitting here cheering on Tottenham because I want them to get top 4 over Man U and Arsenal, yeah? And I genuinely have no dislike to Tottenham out of all the like so-called big 6 teams or what have you. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, hold on a minute. Am I creating my own issues for the following season when Conte actually becomes a top boy, Tottenham become an actual rival? And then I'm like, why was I hoping for this? If Arsenal get top 4, they're not going to really do much with it, are they? If Tottenham get top 4, they're actually going to do something about it. I'm like,
be careful what you wish for, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Here's hoping, right? This time next year, we can talk about the title.
You know what? Let's be honest. I don't necessarily know if they can go to the point where they can win the title. But if they back Conte the way that Chelsea and Inter Milan backed him when he was like first there is a massive possibility that Conte turns them back into the Tottenham when Poch was like constantly always competing for everything, possibly even take that step further and actually get a trophy. So, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's actually quite mad that I'm cheering on a team that's got the best potential to go on and actually be better next season, isn't it? So,
you know what,
we can genuinely challenge if we back him properly. If we back him properly, we can genuinely challenge next year. Don't know about win, but
see, with me, Drifty, if Tottenham get better, that could help us because we already dropped 6 points from this season. They might take some points off of you.
You've already got.
I'm already a bit worried about them. That remember, we still got to play them. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. They're in form right now. They're in form.
What I'm hoping is, I'm hoping Arsenal falling away so much by the time that game comes that Tottenham know 4's done and they just relax. That's what I'm hoping.
Do you know what's the maddest thing? just very quickly, was it only like 3 weeks ago or something? They were obviously ahead of us, like 3 points ahead, and we had like -6 goal difference, like compared to them. We were like 6 off of it or something like that. All of a sudden, 3 weeks later, we've gone above them with a 10. Like I think we're 10 goals ahead of them now. Like we've had like a 16-goal swing in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. So
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
keep it up.
I think
That
it's
is
amazing that the whole bottle job thing is literally going to swing round in the worst way for them. That like they've been calling you lot bottle jobs forever, right? And it's like
Always.
you're going to hand the baton back to them. Like, there you go, boys. Like you, and the worst thing is their fan base have been screaming it. I mean, to be fair, it's similar to what we did with United, to be fair. So it feels good, bruv. Trust me.
Yeah, but we'll stupidly beat them and then lose to Norwich and Burnley for the last 2 games. Something stupid like that. It's just what we do.
Well, I don't know. This is a new Spurs now. Speaking of Arsenal, down at the South Coast, I'll start with you, Matt. How you feeling they're going to go 2 losses in a row? Southampton historically seem to play well after a beating, and they took a hell of a beating last weekend. And I was saying to the boys today on DR Sports, I think they put a judge on a few games that they know they're not meant to get points out of. Like they took 4 points off of City this season. That wasn't supposed to happen. So you see that beating they take, I feel like it's their customary beating to level the universe after the judge they put on when they get a couple of results that they shouldn't get here and there. Do you know what I mean? Because they take a whooping every year. Every year they take one hard beating. Do you know what I mean?
They take licks still. They do.
But how you feeling that one will go, bro?
I actually think Arsenal are in a bit of disarray. Reason I say disarray is because just like in modern football, like how we've seen, especially since Pep has come into the league, and Klopp as well. When your fullbacks aren't there, your first choice fullbacks, and they actually create the space that's needed for you to attack more times than not, you're gonna find it hard. They've lost Tierney, and they obviously I think they lost Tomiyasu, and I don't think it's a coincidence that without those 2 wing backs there, they have kind of like stifled a bit, because you think about them playing Granit Xhaka at left back the other day. What kind of madness? Who does that? Like seriously, bro. Yeah. Like Granit Xhaka at left back. Bro, the guy's not even athletic for one, and you're gonna play him at left back where you're supposed to like do the overlap thing and create space for other people. How can you create space, when you can't move? Seriously. No, seriously. How does that work? But anyway, I actually think Southampton are going to win this game. I think Southampton win this one 2-1, bro.
I like that.
I'm going 2-1 Southampton.
George, I see you nodding your head. What do you think of that one?
Funny enough, I was actually going to say the same score. But I think Arteta's not got the tactical awareness by any means to even try doing I don't get why he doesn't try to do like a 3 at the back. Have Cedric as more of a right centre back, and just they've got enough forwards to have them as wing backs in the way they play. And Saka's used to doing that sort of thing before anyway, last year and the year before. So I think I'm going to go with what Drifty always used to say earlier in the season, was that Southampton always seem to turn up in these sort of bigger games, so to speak.
They do. Honestly, they do, man.
They did against us, and I'm hoping they do it again against Arsenal. So I think 2-1 is a very, very good scoreline. I'd say that as well. Okay.
Finishing up, Davs, what do you think that score will be, bro?
I can't come on here and discredit Southampton ever. it's like with Tottenham. Whenever I do streams with Tottenham fans, I'm like, I can't talk on Tottenham. They're taking 6 points of us. What am I going to do? Come here and, I mean, the thing is, then they go and concede 6 to Chelsea when Chelsea apparently haven't been in form. It's just Southampton are a confusing team with their form, man.
So confusing.
I think in another show predicted Arsenal 3-1.
Okay.
Because they need it. But I mean, that's probably similar to me saying Man United should beat Norwich. So
that's true. That is actually true. Well, I mean, I was going to touch on the FA Cup game, but I think what I want to do is I want to have a conversation about the FA Cup game tomorrow, when we'll possibly have a lot more news on like the injuries of City and a few other things. I think it's a bit premature to do it now when we have no idea who will play and that kind of stuff. So we'll leave that one for now. But guys, make sure you tune in tomorrow. And we'll probably be going live in the evening, but we'll let you know, because we're gonna swap shows around. So tomorrow, guys, we'll be doing the call-in show earlier. So it's gonna be around 1 or 2 p.m. tomorrow. So stay tuned to the socials. We're gonna let everybody know for definite on that one. So yeah, we'll keep you lot posted on that. But just before we go, bro, if you could bring up the fantasy league to just give more joy to George.
Oh boy. Here we go. Let me see if I bring up a bit closer. Hold on 1 sec. Depressing times, bro. Depressing times.
260-point lead. Jeez.
Yeah, he's way out. He's killing it. He's killing it. You know, Aaron and Lewis are fully battling for who's going to be wearing that shirt. Well, it's getting a bit tight down there.
I forgot about my team again. Look at me, 35 points, bro.
Is it?
I'm not gonna lie. I need
35 points, Matt, with your big age.
Listen,
bro, you can cuss me as much as you like, but who's sitting in third comfortably? You're chilling with Callum, bro.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't know if that's a shot at Cal or a shot at me, so I'm just
a shot at both of you, bro. You man should be doing better. I ain't even playing, and you man are still behind, bro. God honest truth, I haven't played for about 3 to 4 weeks. I haven't changed my team. I'm in the mud.
All right, anyway,
I'm in the mud.
Whatever, dog. But there you have it. Georgia just way out in the lead. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. But you know what I mean? We're gonna actually have to start figuring out what we're gonna do in terms of the actual prize as well for George, because we might as well just start figuring it out from now. So it is what it is, isn't it?
I'll take
a trophy. A trophy.
But guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. People in the chat, make sure you smash the like button, and make sure you get over and follow George and Daps as well. Do you know what I mean? Make sure you do that. You know what, guys? Let them know where they can actually find you, Daps, as well on YouTube, bro.
On YouTube, Never a Foul, or if it's just City content, Feed the Goat. But it's Never a Foul. We're bringing it back now. Hold tight, Ty, Trafford Tunnel, my brother, who I run Never a Foul with, and on all platforms, MCFC Daps. As always, thanks for having me, man. And I know you guys must be as drained as me. These last few
weeks. Bro. It's
hectic,
crazy,
bro.
I'm not gonna lie, like it's amazing, but it's jarring at the same time. It's a weird feeling. It's such a weird feeling. But no, pleasure having you as always, bro.
After playing you lot on Saturday, I feel thankful to have Brighton and Watford at home just to chill out a little bit. But now I've said that, you know what's going to happen.
Oh, here we go. Clip it up. Come on, chat.
Well, but yeah, pleasure as always, George. You know what I mean? Big up yourself.
Of course, man.
Well.
Always.
And Matt, you know what I mean? Don't even have to let you know. You know,
I'm always here, bro. I'm always here.
I was gonna do a shot because of that fantasy league thing, but I'll let you have third.
Don't worry about it, man. You'll improve. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Nah, I'll let you have it. But yeah, guys, as always, like I said before, make sure you go and check out the other guys. Make sure you support them. Follow us on all socials, so we'll let you know what time we're coming back tomorrow with both the preview and with the call-in show. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's Good Friday, so we've got to shuffle some things around. Indeed. And make sure you smash a like on the way out, guys. And we will see you tomorrow. But for the Prem Panel Show, we'll see you next week, guys. Peace!
See you.